tab.
I tell you, one of the things I miss about going to Kings games is when I do go to Kings games quite often, I get to sit next to our next guest. Although he's very busy,
yes,
we do have a good time together. He is, of course, author, journalist, reporter, many other things. He's been covering the Kings for decades. Tony Ray Harvey is with us. How are you?
Doing great. It's good to be here with both of you, Kyle Draper and Jay Johnson.
I wore my ABA shirt.
Yeah, you got me all hot up. It's funny that, I actually saw that before I came in.
Yeah.
And, I did find me a San Diego Sales.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to be sporting that, this upcoming season.
And you got Anaheim
your
Amigos,
Your
right?
brother should have came in here and did that, man.
Yeah, we were the Anaheim
right.
Amigos.
And I got the Anaheim Amigos.
Yeah.
I love that one, too.
Yeah.
I even got my name put on the back of it, as you can see,
I
wasn't a basketball player back then, but it does make it feel like that.
Any significance with your Jackson State shirt that you
I have a lot of family who lives in that area, Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
And I have a lot of relatives who attended Jackson State, and I've been to a lot of HBC activities, basketball and football, tennis.
Yeah. He broadcast a football game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got to.
Yes.
Yep. We got to talk.
I was trying to, do a story. Because I heard you telecast one last fall, and I was like, oh, wow. I mean, Draper's a reporter
that's the annual
too.
thing, baby.
Yeah,
I'm out there, man. I'm out there.
I'm the spotter this year, fellas. Just to
He's
let you
coming out this year. Yeah.
Nice.
So Mississippi Valley State, Southern, out of Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of HBCUs, and I'm kind of connected with Alcorn State. I have some relatives who went there. That's also on that part of the western part of Mississippi, close to the Mississippi River. Other side of the river is Louisiana State. So and Grambling State. I done been through all of those. Pretty historical.
Really.
Environments.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Some of them in the thickets in the middle. I thought Mississippi Valley State, it's in the deltas, so it's up north, as if you're going
Aren't
to
they the Delta
Memphis.
Devils?
The Delta Devils.
Ah.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Okay. Willie Totten. I know you guys were talking about that
That's
the other
right.
day.
Yes.
He was the quarterback.
Uh-huh.
I think they named the field after him. Willie Totten Field.
Yeah.
He was a gunslinger.
Yeah. So as we wait for a King season to resume,
Coach at Southern too.
You've been going out to a lot of A's games, right? You've been covering the A's, whatever they are, the Athletics of West Sacramento.
I enjoy it, Kevin Drapes. I do. I know the situation, with the owner and things like that. The relocation, Oakland A's fans. Of course, we see more opposing team fans than we do, down there at Sutter Hilton Park. But I really enjoy it. I've been covering it. I think I only missed like one series, and I think that was the New York Mets series, and that was because
two of those got
the Kings were playing. Right. So
yeah.
I wasn't able to make that, but I've been to at least every series, at least 1 or 2 or 3 games, since then. So you get a chance to, to watch all these MLB teams come through there. And I also just think that the A's have a really good product on the field. The record does not say so, but they got some really good young talent on there.
Really
the future is now.
Yeah.
The things, what Jacob Wilson going to be out for a little bit. Nick Kurt's been doing his thing. Then there's other young man that I asked about yesterday, Max Muncy.
Yeah, he's got a little pop.
Man, he plays third base, shortstop, second base, and his bat was getting hot. He gets hit in the hand while they were on the road. So, but they're looking forward to him being back any day. But I don't know. I don't know. This same thing with Jacob Wilson, because Jacob Wilson, right before All-Star break, he got hit by a 97 mile per hour fast pitch, and we were in the clubhouse and we're looking at this thing. This thing is growing, the contusion. I mean, it was out there. And then he goes to the trainers. He gets a little bandage or something like that, a padding on it. Then he comes back and talk to us, and he's talking about like a couple of days. I'm like, no, man, no. After the swelling go down, it's still going to be kind of tender. I know you want to play in the All-Star game, which he did along with Brent Rooker, who's another slugger.
Great story.
Man, I love his game too. And here we are today. So hopefully he'll be back this season, Jacob, but they got some great talent on that team.
They really do.
Denzel Clark out there doing his thing, Lawrence Butler, Soderstrom, And then the older guys.
Don't forget Shea Langoliers.
Shea, man. And I was a catcher, so
Oh, really?
Oh, were you? Okay.
I like his game too. But they got a great product.
Let me ask you though, what do you make of Severino and last night? Taking a couple of spills on the second and third pitch. Was he exaggerating a little bit, trying to draw some attention to the mound issues? What's going on with that guy?
First 2 pitches too.
Yeah,
he was a little comical about it. After the game when we asked him about it. Something with the mound or a little indention, and
there was on the TV replay, and I don't know if they have that up for you guys when you're at the game, but there was one of the pitches where his foot actually, you could see it slide.
Yes. Oh, did it slide? Okay.
Yeah, but the ones where he fell down looked like he was just like almost taking a dive.
Right.
I don't know, man. Severino, he's been really critical, about playing at SHP, but then we got these trade talks going on between now and tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to move him. He's the highest paid player on the team. What he signed a 3 year, $66 million contract. Yes, he just won at Southern Hills Park last night for the first time.
He's trying to get other teams. Come get me. I can still get people out.
And he really threw a good game on top of that, because after those 2 pitches where he was having problems with the mound, he struck out that batter. Okay. And then he went out, struck out about 5 or 6 more. And of course, they won the game 6-1, and that was good to see. His ERA is much better on the road than it is at SHP. Hey, he's supposed to be the leader in that locker room. These other young guys hearing what he's saying, and he's relaying that too. Whether he'll be back after Thursday, that remains to be seen. Seemed like he's on a little hot streak. He won his last 3 games, so. We'll
right
see
before the deadline.
Right before the deadline.
Yes.
We get it together. Okay. We got a couple more sinkers and a couple more sliders, and these types. Here they are.
Yeah. So Tony Ray Harvey with his Sacramento media legend. Trace wants to talk about Kuminga. I don't know if you guys.
Everybody talking about Kuminga.
Yeah. Have you waded into the waters with all these media reports and Twitter and everything, or are you just sitting this one back where if something happens, I'll report it kind of thing?
Yeah, if something happens factually, I'll report it. Come on, Drake.
You're a journalist, man. That's why I like you, man.
Fair and balanced reporting.
Right.
None of this, I'm hearing things. And look, there's one thing that's been getting.
You see, I teed him up there, Whitey, right?
There's a couple things that's getting me wrong. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just too much of it. Everybody's reporting what everybody else is reporting.
Yes.
Okay. Can you do a little detective work and go find out about these things about yourself every once in a while?
I think you just posted about this, and this has always bothered me. Somebody has something, and then someone else will say, yes, I have confirmed what someone else.
Look, confirmed it with who? That's the part that get me too. It's after the breaking news come out.
Yeah.
Shams or something like that. And then, yes, I can confirm. What are we trying to do here? I mean, you need that much attention? Go out and find something else. Just say, and when you say that, who did you confirm it with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Everybody
already knows.
My sources, I can confirm that report.
Oh my goodness. So look, I mean, if something factual comes along,
right?
Okay. If I, retrieve or extract any type of information, yes, I'm going to report on that. But right in the meantime, I'm just listening to it. Okay. I particularly I'm not in favor of a lot of rumor talks, but that's part of the business too. So I have no problem with that. But I'm just trying to stay on the safe side.
Yeah. Where do you think I can confirm? Where did that come from? And we're not talking about any. Because it's been around for a long few years.
Yeah,
but 20 years ago, nobody. 15. 10 years ago, I don't even know.
We're
That's
trying
when it started.
to check, sources. Sometimes it's one source. Sometimes we like to get 2 or 3 sources to make sure and things like that.
That's old school.
That's old school.
Multiple sources.
Confirmation. But this is a little bit laziness that I'm hearing about this thing. I can confirm. It's just you're just bringing attention to yourself. You're going to have to explain a little bit more when you come around it, and then try to bring it out as content and stuff. I'm just old school as there is. I go all the way back to Walter Cronkite. I'm telling a little bit about my age. I'm sitting there listening to him talk to a 4-year-old kid about a contraption landing on the moon, where a 4-year-old can understand it. Okay, and it was nothing but facts, and those facts was right there in front of your face. That's much confirmation that I possibly need.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then, Tony Ray, and Tony Ray Harvey, the great Tony Ray Harvey, joining us here. And I want to stay on this because I came up through the journalist side of things. There were certain rules. How much do you think the consumer, the fan, it's almost a disservice to them?
It
I
is
think
a disservice.
that's the thing that bothers me. Kings fans, Giants, or whatever sport you like. As a journalist yourself, do you feel like you sort of owe it to the consumers to report accurately? I feel like that's sort of gone out the window, and we're doing a disservice to our listeners, our viewers now.
We're supposed to be trusted members of the community. We're supposed to be trusted messengers of the community. Okay, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm just sharing information, mass information with you, so you can understand what's going on here, and whatever opinion or that you come across, that's on you. I'm just going to put the facts out here. A lot of that is missing today because with social media going on, everybody think that they're reporters now, and they could just put. You have alluded to this too. You can just put out anything out there in an ambiguous way, and people just suck that in. I can't do that. I like I said, that's a disservice. You mentioned this too, as far as credibility. That's really important in this game. Now, I've made some mistakes here, recently, and those were cardinal rules. I broke them. I never do it again. But then, you find out, some people got an axe to grind with you as well. So you have to stay, you have to stay in line with these things. I slipped up and messed up, but man, it's just really getting kind of crazy. And I think social media has a lot to do with it now, because now there's people coming out the woodworks. Oh, I'm a reporter. No, you're a blogger. You're only doing like one thing. Most of the time, you're only doing like one thing. You're only concentrating on one thing, and that's blogging.
Tony, it seems to me that honest to goodness reporting, my dad was a newspaper guy. It doesn't sell. That's not what sells now. And it used to be cherished. Like, oh, and now it's like, yeah, that's great, but this sells, and people pay more attention to reporting that's not really old school reporting, and maybe it's not even accurate, but it's more entertaining.
That's the word. That's the magic word.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're in a clickbait society. I'm not gonna discount that, but I'm not going in that direction. But people want that allure, that glare, out of these stories. Okay, and that's what's selling right now. Okay, otherwise, no clicks.
Right.
No clicks.
Can we ask you about the Kings?
You can always ask me about the Kings.
Yeah.
I listen to y'all show every day. I'm listening to Styles and Ledbetter. A lot of information that I get because I'm hearing for breaking news coming out of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always going to stay in tune to the Kings because that's part of my bread and butter too. It's politics by days and sports by night, but the King's always going to be there.
Just so you know, if Drapes raises his right arm, that means
breaking news. Like if this goes up,
it's
that
just
means
a drill,
something
Jay.
popping.
Shut up.
That means
That's
shut up.
Singer. What do you think of the Dennis Schroeder signing?
They needed a point guard. They got a point guard. I know there's been some mixed, emotion and reactions about that signing, but I think he's going to be, he's going to be able to contribute to this team.
He addresses a need.
He definitely addresses a need, and he's a table setter, and that's what the Kings need. That's what Domas basically said. That was coming from Jeremiah Samuelson, who asked him that question. At the exit interview. So I think he's going to do well for them. They're still kind of stuck in that guard position, but that doesn't really affect him. They do need a backup guard somewhere down there. And I'm not saying that Devin Carter's. Well, I don't think he's a point guard anyway, but I know they're looking, I done heard these things about, Russell Westbrook. So that would be complimentary to Dennis Schroeder as well. But they got what they wanted, and, leading right up until that time till they signed him, that was the target. And yes, I think he will be an extremely serviceable person. I just hope that they can get another backup guard to assist him.
Yeah.
Our guy Tony Ray Harvey joining us. Tony, back to the Jonathan Kuminga situation from a basketball standpoint. For a Kuminga deal, or you see a fit for him here in Sac?
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me why.
I mean, of course, they got too many guards at this point like that, but he's a go-getter. He showed that in the playoffs. He can get a basket. He got a little bit of defense in him. I don't know if Kerr, is warmed up to that side, but I think he would be a good asset to the team because he needs another location. It's just not happening in San Francisco. He's being bounced around. I know money is a lot to do with it, but this seemed like this guy is a Scott Perry guy. This guy can be a Doug Christie guy. He would fit right here, and I'm sure he will give it his all if he can put on that Sacramento Kings uniform. We'll see. No, he's not happy. I've been listening to you guys. He can't be happy about this whole situation. I mean, a lot of things was going on. You guys mentioned that too, before he was drafted, with Clay getting hurt. I know that was the contingent plan to get somebody in here as these guys get older and get them developed.
Poole was part of that too. Poole was ostensibly drafted to take over for Clay.
Yes. Yeah. So, and this is where we at. And I don't know who fault this is. What's going on with Kuminga. I know, yes, Mike did inherit it, but he still had ample enough chances to take care of this.
That's the thing.
To settle things down with this guy or trade him or whatever. So this is the mess that you made, and this is why it's news today, and it should be news.
Yeah. You mentioned Devin Carter. When he was playing in Summer League, I got a text from a guy that's been in media, been an analyst, done a little coaching, brother's a coach, and he was telling me, Devin Carter's just not at either end of the floor. He's not leading the team. And he was playing pretty well, but what it takes to be a point guard. I've been more open to the idea that, maybe he can be a point guard. We'll see. I know we had Jerry Reynolds on. Jerry said he's more of a lead guard than a point guard, but it was just, to be frank here, it was really interesting to me to hear, very educated basketball observers say he's not really leading the team at either end.
And I like the way Jerry Reynolds put that too. Analyze that too, as far as, being a lead guard, because there's a lot of that going on in the association this day. And with Devin, I'm not saying he could ever be a point guard. He did tell us before, Summer League started that he never played it before. Okay. Devin Carter, he's a playmaker. He's an off guard, basically, but running the point, and leading in that way, no, I didn't see a lot of that as well. He was effective in some other areas.
Right.
But as far as, bringing up the ball,
shot's going in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could shoot the lights out of it. You get that rhythm going and things like that. But as far as, coming down and setting up, setting the table and making sure everybody's situated offensively and being that guy on defense, because you want a point guard, who's real skilled at that position as well. And he can play some defense. But this is my thing with Devin Carter. If you're going to keep him, he's not a point guard. So it's best to just work on his strength. Let him do what he do best. Okay. You don't have to he can bring the ball up every once in a while, but let him do what he do best. Otherwise, that's why I'm hearing his name on all these trade talks.
Yeah. That is a tough transition, Trace, for any player, especially an older player,
right.
Especially a pro. Okay, you're gonna play point guard now. That's something to be really good. You got to start.
That's something you got to train at, right?
Yes.
Years of being able to play that.
Bulls. Look at those Chicago Bulls back in the 90s. What they were doing, they won 6 championships. They didn't really have no point guard. Michael Jordan was basically the lead point guard. Yeah. Okay, and Harper, he was a shooting guard. Okay, so this basically started back then. I mean, time has changed, and I mean, of course, playing against somebody like Jordan is a hard sell, but he's a shooting guard.
Well, that was a triangle too, right?
And it was a triangle, right? That's why it worked so well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Derek Fisher was kind of the point guard, but they didn't necessarily have a true point
guard.
He
was basically the shooting guard to me, though.
Yeah,
right.
But he was a point guard. He did have the skills and the abilities and things like that. But
Ryan Harper.
Nah, he wasn't a point.
I had no love for Ryan.
No, I love Ron
not as a point guard.
Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying he wasn't a point guard for that, for those championship runs that he had. I mean, hey, that was Jordan. And Whitey just said it. That was all about that triangle. It was all about that triangle offense.
Yeah.
So, but I wish him well. Devin Carter, that is, and let's see, what's going on there. But if you're going to keep him, if he's going to be there, when media day start, training camp start, just let him do what he do best.
Right.
And just go from there. Trying to force him into something right now after years of playing other positions and stuff, that's going to be a tough sell.
It is tough. A lot to ask.
Tony Ray Harvey joined. Tony, what do you make of the job Scott Perry has done so far? Because I remember before the draft, everybody was, anxious, eager for him to do something. He made a couple of draft picks, seemed to be solid picks so far. Signed Schroeder. What do you make of the job he's done so far and his patience, I guess, that's going to be needed, I think, to turn this all the way around?
I know he's been preaching that.
Yeah.
But our Sacramento fans, we want it now. I think he's doing a great job, thus far for what he got. I'll just use something that former United States Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall said. I did the best with what I got. Okay. So this is basically Scott Perry's position right now. Okay.
Yeah.
We got these heavy contracts between, Zach LaVine and DeMar and
what, Domas?
Domas
Domas
making 40, 41, 42 million. So he has to work within those parameters and things like that. But I think he's doing a pretty good job, and he's doing it the way he wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every Monday, if you look on the X platform, he has these Monday affirmations.
Yes.
Like that. He's pretty big on those type of things. So, he's really organized. He has a strategy for things that he wants to do, whether it's professionally or personally. I love these picks. I had a chance to, to be among these young men and Reynard and Clifford. Those came out of nowhere where, that was basically, the starting block for what Scott is trying to do. And I also like how he's been handling the local media. He's been giving out a lot of interviews, so he's been really communicative with everybody. I know you've been out to lunch with him too, Dre. So I think he's, is a good fit. Still a long ways, before we can really evaluate, his work. But I think he's going off in the right direction right now.
Yeah. Malik's in a state of limbo, isn't he?
Yeah,
man.
I just wrote a cover story on Malik too about him living here in Sacramento. Of course, it was.
Did they post it yet?
I have to show it to you. It's out there though, But it was like, now, he really does like living here. But now we'll
see. Yeah,
we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what's going through his mind.
Right.
He's been doing all this charity work and stuff like that. And, then on the court, he was a reserve. Then he was a point guard. Now he's going back to reserve. Now, I might be moving on. Now they're talking about my contract. All this stuff got to be going on through him, his agent, and his brother. These things got to be talked about. But, this is the business. You just have to be ready and see what happens. And when it's time for you get that call, to play, to get on the court, that's what you do. That's what you do. But I really hope everything's okay with him. He's been an electrifying, dynamic player. And a respectable guy, as far as being a member of the community. We'll just have to see, what happens.
It happens in sports. It happens in other jobs. It happens on radio. He was here. He had the GM that brought him in. He had a coach that they had that, funny relationship with, but he was willing to come off the bench. So he was, in a sense, a leader in that respect. He was friends with De'Aaron, but now all those guys are gone, and you got a new regime that apparently
he's been going through a lot.
Thanks for everything, but we're not sure we need you.
He's been going through a lot.
Yeah,
it's almost like we don't appreciate everything.
Exactly.
We appreciate some of the things. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's here, I know he will give it his all. Okay. But if he move on, I'm sure wherever he lands, he'll be okay. Now, I'm not sending him out of town. I'm not pushing him out of town. I really want him, to put back on that uniform, King's uniform, and do what he do best in front of the spectators and win some ball games, though. But there you go. We're talking about these guards again. They just have too many guards.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to get in the reserve position 15, 20 minutes a night behind the starters.
I see the Vegas over under on the Kings, I think at 35.5. I like where the Kings are from this regard. They won 40 games, tons of turmoil, trade away your best player and all that. Where do you see the Kings this upcoming season?
Man, I get to ask that every
off
season too. It's really hard to gauge, looking forward, to what's going on, because I know there's still some work to be done, with the GMs, Scott Perry and BJ Armstrong.
The Kuminga thing would change the whole
right.
reflection of everything. Yeah,
but man, that's a tough one, Drake. But usually I can just come out with it though, but I could see 40 wins again, but it could be 38, 37, 38. Yeah. It could be 42, 43, but it just really depends on, if everything comes together. One of the good things about that too is that they kept Doug Christie, and now he's getting a full-blown opportunity to start from scratch in the offseason to try to put these things together. Okay. And speaking of a philosopher, which is Doug, and he likes to relate to the players a lot. Hopefully that would be the number one key, going forward, and the success of this team. Having everybody on the same page by the time training camp start and see what we can put together and try to, get a little rhythm and string together some wins here. Because I think Doug did an admirable job, last season, going through all those.
Oh yeah, yes, yes.
You just mentioned that too. So
they all did an admirable job.
Yeah,
they did.
All things considered,
they did. So we'll see when we get there. Like I said, I'm just in the middle of it. It could be 40 tops, 40 less,
right,
or 40 or more. So it'll be an interesting seeing. But as always, I'm always looking forward to seeing them play.